Hello, beautiful hearts. Thank you for being here. Today I am back with Hamish. Thank you, Hamish, for being here again. I love how we flow and where we go with the conversation. So thank you so much for being here. It's first time into this new year, so welcome back.
Thank you very much. No, I'm looking forward to this and whatever we're going to be talking about. I love the fact that you keep me in the dark and you don't tell me, you spring it on me, Sarah. Let's see, what are we going to talk about today?
Yeah, today I was feeling it to speak more or to dive deep into this awakening. I have been shared last time my experience and observing myself of my journey from this place today. I was realizing like, holy crap, that was a rough one. Like really, like hitting myself with the head and the walls, and I'm not understanding what was that. But a voice inside me was speaking to me in the same time. So I was not aware what's going on. So for those that are curious about my awakening and my process, how I was going through in the madness, chaos, not knowing what is about and how is eating, what is spirituality, how to deal with it, and having no connection with anybody related with this. So, yeah, I was thinking to dive deep in this awakening process.
Mm-hmm.
What you feel about?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have individual process and somebody have a more smoothly wave swimming to these waves of awakening. They have more, I don't want to say they are more take care of. I mean, they are not go for so rough. Everybody have their unique experience and everybody experience to its intensity as they are uh, able to. But some are really having this kind of awakening that is like, oh my God, how you come alive from that? There are some people go through such a intense, let's say, shifting of reality, shifting of identity that you have to catch up with it. And if this the human mind cannot catch up with it, it can be really danger and out of line, out of reality. So tell me if you want to share your process of from how you arrived into this right now moment from a place where you was just, let's say, walking blind and walk life and do life like everybody and just not being aware, not having the senses of the self, and just play this game and till till something has happened. Obviously, that's why you are where you are and I am where I am because something has happened. So how was your process?
Um, yeah, I probably slightly more traumatic
Mm.
than a walk in the park. I mean, it was a dark night of the soul. Um, yeah, as you said, deliciously unconscious, dealing with stuff, fighting, drinking, and basically the turning point was when I realized I was drinking and driving and destroying myself, and if I didn't stop, I was down to two choices: live or die, and that's I think that's where it started. So that would have been in late 2018. Yeah, that's when it was. That's like I wake up and smelling the roses, all those cliches. Shit had to change, otherwise Hamish wouldn't be here, and that's where it began. So it was getting off the alcohol, finding out the reasons why, admitting the reasons why, listening to that little voice that had been for a long time saying, "You got to sort this out, bro. You really have got to sort it out," and that's where it began. And it's taken a long time. It's taken a long time. There's been lots of heartache, lots of change. I've moved continents. I lost my wife, dog, house, business, clients, most of my friends because I was living in South Africa, and that was tough. it was also, it was a complete change of life. I moved continents to the other side of the world, back to England, and that was the awakening that things had to change. And then it became spiritual, because I realized that I can't do it by myself. I really can't. And I realized that, I found solitude, I found peace being in nature, and I found shamanism, and I found little tidbits. At Hansel and Gretel, there were the little bits to follow through this very scary forest of looking at everything that I had done, every pattern, every way of being. Why do I do this? Why do I isolate? Why do I numb? And then you've got the new age spiritual dogma. Oh, you're broken. If you isolate, it's this trauma. If you do this, it's this trauma. And I got sucked into that. And you're broken. You need healing. We can heal you. We can heal. Try this method. Try this method. And it is, for those who are not watching this, I'm clutching my head in exasperation, because it was that. It was, what the fuck? And then not trusting anything I thought, any voice in my head. Is it just bullshit? Is it nonsense? Yeah, it was hard. And then I want to do this, and I would start to do something, and then I would hit a wall. And it would get to a stage where I was just unable to do whatever that was. And it was incredibly exasperating, because, I want to help people. I want to do this, I've overcome addiction. I can do this to help people. I can do this. It's just like, that's actually not your journey. That's not your path. But I want to. I can do it. I want to give back. I want to do this. I want to be altruistic. I want to, all this kind of stuff. The ego just changes direction. And Juliana, it was hard. It was very fucking hard, and took a long time, taking a long time. Yeah. And I didn't
Agree with you.
slow down. I didn't want to slow down. I didn't know how to, because if I slowed down, I had to listen. I had to then, listen to that little voice silently going, hey, try this. This will work for you. Here's a little gift. Here's another little piece of that trail to follow if you're not running blindfolded with heavy boots on, which I was doing. So it was painful. Yeah. But it was worth it.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Here it is. Here you are. Exactly. Yeah. This awakening is, it's rough. As you say, to the dark night of the soul, crying, at least my experience. Not everybody needs to cry. It's just my experience, where desperately crying, not understanding why, and feeling I'm dying, like physically dying. And it's like, but I'm still alive. Why I feel like I'm dying? Like, what's going on? It's chaos, madness. And then the questions arise. And then the question, you realize the reality is shifting and changing. And then realize, like, oh, what was all that about? Who I was then? And then then the ego is transformed in a spiritual ego, and then is require again another layer to be peeled off, because the ego is, it's really flexible, so to say. So it's really attached on whatever he wants to go, and then it's take another form.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a process, as you said, and it's not, yeah, and it's not ending in 5 years, 10 years. Is like we speak before in another connection, like we peel off the layers, and again and again and another, the same kind of situation, the same lesson, but isn't deepen the understanding, the letting go. So layers. Yeah. I wanted to talk this with you because we are facing interesting time, and we will not go into dive deep what's going on outside in the world. It's interesting just to observe, because there is nothing to be done. But is simultaneous with this is that humans are awakening. awaking to a reality that they don't know is existing there. It triggers a lot of inside them, and that triggers awakening something in them. And I personally go through a situation where I was experienced this psychose because I was like, I don't knew anymore this reality with that reality. And I was thinking everything is pink and butterfly and unicorns and the life that life this it is, not realizing I am on planet Earth, man. Not everybody is that what you think. Maybe, to the core of the core of the core, but what's playing out, it's wake up. So I wanted to have this conversation with you because you are more on earth, so to say, from my perspective. If I were compare with me, you're more stable on earth. I am there and everywhere, but here still too. So what I observe or what I'm seeing playing out, people are waking up to some realities, some truth. I want to have this conversation with you because I want we to dive deep into the awakening of a human being. And we all have experiences and dark nights of the soul, and it's crucial, painful, and it's eyes opening. And then you see the life totally the other way around, and then it's shocking. And we go in this moment right now where humans are awakening to some truth, but then they are taking over. It's like almost, I don't know how to touch this. I'm feeling it, but I don't know how to put words on it. Okay. I have this conversation because you helped me to connect more this earthly plan to the earthly environment, because I can sense and I can see the deepest layers that, not that I get confused, but it's helped me talking with you to bring down that. We are in a process where we are waking up because of what is going on the earth, because of the panicking and weird events and out of there, and plus of this, a lot of AI stuff going on internet that it's so fake, but so many believe it's true because it's like blend of reality, but it's not really reality. I'm seeing that humans are awakening to some of the truth that are make them more confused if they are not in touch with the core of who they are. And tell me what you sense and what you feel, because as I tell you, you are more this masculine side, divine, masculine holding. So when a human being is waking up, it's not only that it's checking the reality of their own life, but they start to open up the eyes to the reality of their own environment, the life in general, the what's happening, what was been hidden. They can see through what is not said or seen, so to say. And that can bring a lot of chaos and confusion when one is not in true with itself, self, like let go of the games what's going on with self. And what is that self? So I want to ask you, from your perspective, what is that self a human being has to be connected to, so to not, let's say, get lost in these chaotic highways in the awakening process? As you said before, oh my God, everybody have the answers, everybody have solutions, like holy crap, what to do now? So tell me from your perspective, that self, and then I will come with my perspective of self.
That's an interesting one. Self, that is an interesting one. I think philosophers have been thinking about that for thousands of years.
Mm.
It has to be a removal of masks. It has to be not conforming to the dictates of society or the dictates of ancestral stories. For me, it's questioning. I question with love now, with gentleness now, with compassion now, everything I do. Why do I do that? Why do I get triggered by that person all the fucking time? Why am I banging my head against a brick wall, wanting a different result, but doing the same thing? So the self you have to start looking at what you're doing that's not working for you, and realizing that, we are doing, until that moment you actually look at yourself, you're doing things unconsciously. And it's only when you start to look at it, then you can go, that ain't working. I'm going to try something different. Or that's too scary to try something different. So you fall back into it and carry on banging your head. But the self is that really quiet voice that when you listen to it, it doesn't frighten you. It might be daunting, but it is not scary as in this is going to harm you. It is not scary as in it is going to make your life unbearable. It might mean changing things. It usually does. But I think that's what it is. And it's that spark that we all have, that spark of beauty. And when you look behind the masks that we all wear, that person is divine. We are eternal. There's a little bit of Hamish is a spark from the universe, and Hamish is the body. The spark has got a different name. I don't know what that one is yet. And it's choosing to accept that what I've been taught, what I've been told by society, by schools, by family, by whatever, is to be questioned. And I think, my reality is different to yours, is different to the next person's. But I think the common things are we are beautiful and we have a capacity to love and to create and not to deliberately hurt each other. And the awakening process is accepting that we are actually more beautiful, more powerful, more loving, more compassionate than we believe we can be. We generally think we are appalling behaved, got horrible habits, are this, are that, or, I'm amazing, I'm great, says the egotistical narcissist. We don't even realize that we could be complete assholes. And I think the self really is behind all of that, is this just little thing saying, hey, you're amazing. And it's remembering that we are amazing. I think that is the essence of awakening, is remembering that we are amazing, because we are. and we're beautiful, and we're incredible, and we're creative, and we've got that capacity to receive and give and support and nurture and have fun and change. Yeah. So I think that's a little bit of
Yeah.
what the self is and what awakening is about.
I love it. I love your perspective because, yes, it is about it. To see the beauty within and to peel off the layers of what we have been collected to the generation and to the years, the stories and all those experiences. I love your way of saying because it's about that. Because my perspective of self, as you said, is that spark of divine. Experiencing a human life, dealing with emotions, which it's challenging because we are here incarnated, so many beings from different kind of constellation, and somebody have many lives, somebody's first time on this planet, or some people cannot comprehend what's going on here, why they deal with it, because they are first time here and they never felt this chaotic experience. So the self is that love, the beauty, and the authentic expression of who you are with light and the dark. We are here experiencing life and we have amazing experience, but also we have unpleasant, if we can categorize in some senses, we will make them negative. But those negative experience actually is the gold of shaping our authentic self. Because we are love, we know. We are that spark of light, divine, yes, we know. But we are on earth. And what's make us authentic is the gold pieces of the shadow that we can transform, transmute, that it's creating an authentic, it's make us authentic in our own ways and unique because of those experiences, because we transform that shadow, that pain into, I see these houses where you put a different color of glasses and you create specific shape, but the houses are make like different color of glasses, green, blue, black, and you just make something on the beautiful painting you put on the house. That's how I'm seeing, like, because all those experiences, positive and negative, is shaping the authentic self here on earth. Because there, to the core, we are that love, we are that compassion, we are that divine. But on earth, because it's the polarity, we are different through the integration of the shadow that we bring in our own lives. And that's why people have this idea being spiritual is to be love and light and be so kind and open heart. Yeah. No doubts about. But don't play a game with that kind of human being. Like, don't think that they will look down and let you step over because they are kind and love and light. They can be as the same, the opposite. You can see them, or they can show you to see where is the line. Because people say like, oh, you love unconditionally, I can do whatever I want. You can do whatever I want, but I'm not there where you think I will sit and I'm waiting you to be. So my perspective of self being in this avatar, Hamish, Juliana, is the, again, like the coming in unity with our light and our shadow and creating this authentic expression of who we are. To say no and to say yes, to accept your anger and to express your anger when there is really necessary, because it's like, again, energetically, you protecting yourself when you allow yourself to express the anger. That's not mean you are transformed now. You are a spiritual being. because you allow yourself to express the both the both sides of who you are, which is nothing is right or wrong, is you self. So yeah, that's my way of seeing self. And that's why I was speaking about the awakening, because I have the senses that many believe that awakening is just love and light, butterflies, and let's be Zen. And yes, be Zen, but don't confuse that Zen of who you are to the core with the Zen of what you want to express, when there actually you have to. I don't say to, when I say to play a game, is to play the human game, not to put yourself mask to play the game, but to know how to play the game. Because here on earth is like, is a human game. And if you don't know how to play this game, it's hard. It's tough, because you cannot comprehend, like, oh, but I need to be, churches tell me I need to be just good with everybody, and everybody step over me and I'm still good. I need to turn around the other cheek. So it takes, I think we have misinterpreted many lessons of spirit being in human form. And because now so many is awakening, they will be, it's like avalanche of jumping in different direction, because they are pulled by experiences and still those beliefs that they carry within, because somebody say you need to be love and light, and the other side is like, but I am pissed off, angry, and I want to take care and be this warrior and this awakening and fight with the system, which again is a choice, but have nothing to do with spiritual being, because fighting, again, you create another to fight with yourself. Anyway, everybody have their choices. So yeah, I don't know where I want to go with this. It's just coming, so I will let it out there. But coming back to the awakening, where I want to bring the awareness, and I want to hear also your perspective later, but I want to bring the awareness that when a human being is sensitive, is open to something, they're not fully aware what's going on. And because the society has not enough knowledge to the spirit realm, to the spirit door, so to say, those humans are catalyzed as being mentally ill, because the system don't know what to do. How you see when a human being is open to its own sensitivity of energies, but because mind cannot comprehend and put together, because don't have the definition, because nobody told them what is about, and to ask for help, actually, in my perspective, it's dumping. Let me know how you see this. People that are super sensitive and they don't have the awareness conception of what is that reality, and how they can get support from your perspective.
There are a lot of questions there. Where do I start? I'm going to start with my shamanic teacher. For 40 odd years, he was a mental health nurse, and he would be working in hospitals, and people were coming in with all sorts of mental conditions, and they were seeing through the veil. So many of them were seeing into a different reality, into a different timeline. The voices that they were hearing were not saying, slit your wrists, murder somebody. They were saying things, and they didn't know how to differentiate. I've heard stories of people who have deliberately put themselves into mental institutions because they could commune with spirit, and they thought they were mad. we box people up and bung them into loony bins because they are bipolar, because they're psychotic, because of this, because of that. And how much of that is actually people who are able to connect to spirit, to spirits, to higher powers, to beyond. It's really interesting. And going back to Martin Duffy, he got very curious and realized what the people were consistently. And he was at this level. He was a nurse. He was not the top dogs who were so out of touch. And he realized there was more to that. And so he got really curious and he found shamanism. He found that connection that so many of these people who'd been incarcerated for whatever reason were actually spiritual. They actually had that sense that there was so much more, but they didn't know how to articulate it. You look at people like Dolores Cannon, you look at people who channel, they've embodied it, they've understood it, and they can communicate, they can connect, whether you want to call it to entities, to the divine, to spirit, to their own higher wisdom. It doesn't really matter. But they are connecting to a bigger reality than we realize. You've said we are in a body. This body's called Hamish. Some people call them meat sacks. It's not a meat sack. It's my body. And if I don't look after it, it's going to die before I'm ready to. So, it's the awakening is about realizing there is more. I like to say this, there's more than 9 till 5 Netflix and chill. I only realized 2 years ago what Netflix and chill meant. I thought it meant Netflix and chill, but no, it's a movie and a quick bonk. So there is far more to life than the mundane, and the awakening is realizing that. And first thing I went to was the spirituality. And then, as you said, that's another level. You can get caught in that level of love and light and Zen and, peace, and then a denial of pain and of hurt and of all these things. Or, I'm living a 5D existence, man. Bollocks. You're living a 3D existence. You've got a body. You can see a sunset. You can touch. You can kiss. You can hug. We are here to experience that. And if you're just going to be bypassing and I'm living a spiritual, 5D, 7D, 9D, whatever, you're talking out of your metaphysical arse. And it's another matrix. It's another piece of the puzzle. It's another denial. It's another egoic level. And there's probably more. There's probably more levels for me to unpeel. But my awakening has taken me through that into communities where it is really love and light and peace and goodwill and egoic, and it's absolutely fine until you don't agree with me, and then you're a pariah, you're a narcissist and all that nonsense. So it's rocky, and it is also realizing that you've got neurons in here, you've got neurons in your heart, and you've got neurons in your gut. So you've got 3 brains. We're taught in 21st century humanity to run the life from here. This is your wisdom. This is your intellect. This is not necessarily truth, but this is, if you think from here, it's going to be kinder. It's going to be open to things that this thing goes, what the fuck, dude? When I started listening to Dolores Cannon and what she was talking about, and it's just like, no, that's madness. But at the same time, it didn't feel madness. It sounded like madness. It didn't feel like it. So that is one way I know the truth, my truth, what I feel is truth. I sense it. I don't think it or hear it. I sense it. It's that little quiet voice saying, "It's this. What about this?" And I think the awakening is just listening to that and realizing that it might be right, it might be wrong, and at the end of the day, everything I'm saying might be completely wrong. It might just be nonsense. But what it is doing, it is making me a kinder person. It is making me somebody who is more forgiving and understanding and accommodating and less of an asshole and less of all those, unhealthy attributes. So it's slowing down, it's becoming kind, it's becoming gentle. Not a walkover, quite the opposite. It requires boundaries. But it's a huge process, but you're relearning. And if you think that by the age of 7, you had learned to walk, run, make decisions, and basically your whole way that you run your life, you learned in the first 7 years of your life. The awakening is going to take time to reprogram all of that, to look at all of that. And then you've ingrained it. So it's looking at it even more. So it's a slow process of looking at, why do I do that? Because of mummy, because of daddy. Let's keep it really simple. Because of I was bullied at school, because of I was hurt by that, because of something even worse. I found a way to protect myself. I found a way to keep myself safe. And I think that is the basis of humanity. We try and keep ourselves safe. And the awakening is to look at that and go, I don't need something external to keep me safe. I need not the meat sack, Hamish. I need my wisdom and intellect. I need my heart. I need my intuition, which is in my gut. And when I use those 3 things and the ego is going, hey, what about this? I can go, thank you, ego. Noted. Heart. I like that. That feels more authentic. And gut. Yeah, that really makes sense. So I think that's the power of awakening is learning to think with your tummy. Learning to think with your tummy and your heart, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. Yes, thank you so much. Exactly. To be in coherence with all these brains that we carry within without eliminate or reject one or the other, because all of them are here to assist us. So yeah, I totally agree with you. So to wrapping up this in the end is, when a soul is awakening, what is required from that human being, soul incarnated in a physical body, is to listen to its own senses. Everything is within, like here. And the outside can be only a reflection. And the safety, the love, the security, it also can be found only here. Nothing can make us safe from the outside if we carry within the unsafety emotions. So, yeah, do you have something to share with the world, with those that are just wrapping their heads and awaking to something like, whoa, what will be? I don't want to say to give advice, because we are not here. We don't have to give advice to anybody. But what will be from your own experience, to put it out there for those that are just shaking their heads around and are dealing or have this dark night of the soul, and they are facing this phase of figure out that it's not actually what they thought it was? What you will have some words to say?
I'm going to have to be really hypocritical here, and I'm going to have to say, be patient and forgive yourself. Really, really important as you become aware of something different, as you become aware of a shitty behavior. forgive yourself and try not to do it again. We're human, you might. Doesn't really matter, but you intend and try to change, try not to be an arsehole quite so often. It's that. Slow down. This is where I'm being hypocritical because I struggle with that. And I think the most important thing is this is what I do regularly. I look back on my day and my week and my month and big, let's call them shitfest events when everything went wrong. For example, addiction, choosing rehab, things like that. Looking back at monster events and realizing that you made a choice to change your life for the better because of that event.
Mm.
I did a podcast recently and the lady got locked up for drink driving for the night. And she is so grateful for that night. For that night, she couldn't go home to sit on her phone, to go on the internet, to do whatever. She had to sit there and think. And that is one of her biggest moments. And, time and time again, you will find that where the shit hit the fan. And in that process of cleaning the fan, you saw and were able to change and look back at those moments, however horrifying they were. And you can go, I learned something from that. I was able to change. And that gets me through the tough days. It really, really does. When I've done this, I've done that, I don't understand. I can crawl into bed and go, I made it. I made it through that effing day. And I can look back at something that happened and realize, I learned from that. I learned something and I'm proud of myself. I'm proud that I didn't break. I didn't cry. Or maybe I did cry. I didn't fall apart. I learned from that. So I think, that would probably be the most important thing to look at is, how did I manage to get through? How did I succeed that event? Because you're still alive. You're a hero. You have beaten every single thing that happened to you. You are a fucking hero. So well done. So realize it. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you so much for the kind words to share with those that wrap their heads around. And also, I want to add from my own perspective, don't catalyze your journey as a crazy one. It may look like, it may seem like, but you are not crazy. You're all fine. That's the process of shedding off our reality and learning to build another one the way you want to live in. And we don't have a book to follow. It's just to follow our own brains, which Hamish said, the three brains that we have, the mind, the heart, and the gut, and to use all your senses and to choose yourself, how you want to feel, how you want to live and create this life with beauty, love, unity, and a new world in unity consciousness, so to say. So, you are not crazy. You are all fine. Have patience, love yourself, forgive yourself, and all will be all right. Everything. Thank you, beautiful hearts.